So before you had mentioned Thumbtack, and actually when I googled your business, I saw that you were on Thumbtack and you got a really high rating. Good job on that. I've heard of Thumbtack before, but I haven't never used it because I haven't had a reason to use it. But I've been curious about the platform. I was actually thinking about maybe finding someone that has been on there before to talk about their experience on there. And you have quite a few reviews on there. So how's your experience been on Thumbtack?
Oh, Thumbtack is great. It's a great platform to execute services. So you're allowed to list your services that you provide as a company on there. So I've been able to get a lot of work from Thumbtack. The caveat to Thumbtack and what deters a lot of people is number one, the cost associated with Thumbtack, and then two, how to acquire or close the customer on Thumbtack. So with Thumbtack, in my industry, in pressure washing industry, you're paying about $50 per lead. So
Damn.
that's pretty pricey, given the closing, you actually closing on a person, but to pay somebody $50, you know, to see if that person is wanting to work with you, it's very, not everybody can afford that. Um, so there's that aspect of it. So I myself even have to set up a budget because I notice when I set it too high, it can get kind of crazy. So there's that aspect of it, and then how to acquire the customer. So I'll share your viewers on this. No one doesn't talk about this on YouTube, but you have to look into the psychology of what someone gets on Thumbtack. It's a warm lead, so that means they're telling you that they want this service,
Mhm.
but the thing is they want it done the right way, and they more than likely want it done within 24 hours. So when
Mhm.
that lead comes in, it's your job to answer the phone immediately. Don't send a text, literally accept it or do the automatic or however you do it, and call them and ask questions about what it is that they want done. And then you end with, hey, I can come out right now and do a free estimate, no obligation. Now, what that does is the person who's requesting that service goes, I have somebody who's open to not only do the job, but they're going to just give me a price. And if I don't like their price, it's okay. They just want somebody out there. They really just want free game. Can there somebody tell me what is the issue that I'm dealing with? And is there a solution out there for that person to execute on it? So make yourself available, get out there, get on site. You walk around, see what their issue is, let them talk because people love to talk. And then you say, well, to get this done, it'll cost you about X amount of dollars. And I can get this done right now. And 9 times out of 10, you're already right here. Boom. So I'll give an example that happened just yesterday. So I did
Okay.
this tactic on Thumbtack. Lady reached out to me that she wanted her rental. She has a rental property in Coppell. She wants to pressure wash this rental property. So I'm like, all right, cool. Called her, understood it. I was there within an hour to do the free estimate. So now she's showing me around. I'm letting her. I'm like, okay, cool. I told her it's gonna cost you $500 to do it, straight up. She goes, "Oh, that's a lot. That's like very expensive. I was looking for something else." I said, "Hey, look, like this $500." She said, "Oh, okay." That's why I hit the special question. Well, what budget were you thinking? She goes, "Oh, my budget's 150." I looked at it. I said, I wish you good day, and walked away. And she goes, "Well, that's it?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm not doing it for 150. That's ludicrous for what you're asking for. I'm not doing it for 150." She said, "Oh, well, what's the best price?" And then I was like, I said, "I'll do it for $300 since I'm right here." So she said, "Oh no, it's too expensive." I said, "Okay, cool." Got in my truck, walked away. Within 10 minutes, she called me back and said, "You know what? $300. Can you get it done now?" Yep. Hop right around, turn around the corner, and I went ahead and executed the job. So you're gonna have the people that's gonna want to negotiate and all that stuff and things like that. But in essence, in order, Thumbtack is a great way to start getting work and be paid for it if
Mhm.
you're proactive and if you're ready and confident in yourself to complete the job. So that's how I was able to get a lot of traction with a lot of reviews on Thumbtack too, was through that method and through that analogy, through that strategy. And then from there, I was able to get a lot of reviews fairly quickly. I've only started this business officially since November of 2025. And in between that time period, I've cleaned over 120 homes between November and now.
Okay. And you mentioned reviews. So is there anything special you do to get the people who have used their services on Thumbtack to review you? Or do they often any kind of reviews? There's usually some system that the person has to initiate in order to get the person to review them and leave 5 stars, etc. Did you have to do anything like that?
At first, it was a challenge, and my method is fairly the same thing now. I just once I complete the service, I tell them and say, "Hey, if you really enjoy my service, I would really appreciate if you leave us a review. It would help other people to see that we can provide the same level of quality service." I mean, it really starts with doing a great job and making sure that you know what you're doing, but it's really just asking the individual. And some people would do it, some people wouldn't do it. So what I do now is the day after the service, normally around like early in the morning, I just send a quick text and say, "Hey, just wanted to leave a reminder. If you don't mind leaving us a review, that would be great." And more than likely, they tend to do that. So, I think where we struggle with blue collar is we want to just do the job and do the service and then just walk away. But we need to also consider the reviews and parts of the marketing, which also comes into play when you want to look for that next customer. So by you asking a review, and there are a lot of times on Thumbtack in particular, because I believe I have like 15 reviews or something like that. But because I did that method and I got reviews, now there's people who reach out to me directly through Thumbtack, and I don't have to pay for that lead cost because that person specifically chose me to provide that service for them. So it's very important to ask for reviews to essentially you're building up credibility for yourself and your brand, which now lets the other future customers know that you provide a great service and you can execute accordingly.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I know getting reviews, especially on anything online, is just very important. And oftentimes there's probably a few steps to get someone to review you that you need to initiate on your part. But Thumbtack in particular, I remember when I was looking into it, and it could have changed since then. I know it's essentially a way that you're paying to get leads, and these leads are warm. Um, when do you get the potential customers' email and phone number, or do you not get that information? You do get that information, right?
No, you don't.
You
So
don't.
when you
Oh,
don't, so they actually I remember this very vivid. This was December of 25. So I started the business November, and then December's when they took. So before that, it was you had when the lead came in and you pay for the lead, you in essence had the phone number. So rather than go through Thumbtack, I just called the number directly so I
mhm.
can get their information. And I was thinking, I know where you're going at with this. What I did was when I execute the job, I would save their number, do the text, add that to the mailing list, et cetera, et cetera. But then in December, Thumbtack decided to cut that out. So now they do like a middleman phone number. So when you call Thumbtack, and Thumbtacks put you in contact with the end customer. So through Thumbtack, there's no way to getting access to their phone number or email anymore. So another strategy I do is that, and I do this sometimes if I have time, but at the end of the service, I'll say, "Hey, sir or ma'am, can I send you a before and after picture of the service?" And you know, do a picture before, do a picture after. I go on Canva, quickly cut it in the middle, edit it 2 seconds, and say, "Hey, can I get your number?" Put their number in, save it, and send it to them. So now they're happy, they're great, and that's another way to essentially get that customer's phone number. Because if you don't ask during that whole Thumbtack process, in essence, you can execute jobs on Thumbtack and not even know about the customer, or you may not be able to retarget or communicate with the customer anymore. So I just make sure to at least have that conversation if they want to share. Sometimes they say no, and I just leave it at that. And if they need to reach out to me again, they can reach out to me through Thumbtacks.
Hmm. Have you thought of, well, maybe you're already doing this, but they say no. Do you leave them with a business card, maybe with your
Oh,
phone
I
number?
leave them.
Yeah.
I leave them with a business card, but actually, I don't use business cards anymore. I went to Vistaprint and print out door hangers, and it has
Oh,
like a $99 driveway special. And then on the back of it, it says if you refer us to a client of your one of your neighbors, we'll give you a $25 Amazon gift card. So
nice.
I've gotten one.
There's a referral program in there. Okay.
Yes, referrals are key.
Nice. That's an impressive little system you got there. And honestly, I'm you're more nonchalant about it. Maybe you were madder when they did that, but I'm getting kind of pissed off for you with this Thumbtack situation because I thought that was probably the biggest thing that separated Thumbtack from like TaskRabbit. Like these third party platforms, I get it, like, it's against their terms of service to ask on their platform. So what's your phone number? What's your email, etc. Because if they did that, they wouldn't quote unquote have a business. It's really Thumbtack or TaskRabbit's customer, not yours.
Right.
The difference between them and like Fiverr, Upwork for the computer stuff is you're gonna meet the person in person to do the service because it's blue collar, and there's not much they can do since you're interacting with the person. To You can give them your information, and you can set up different ways to. Hey, you don't have to pay. Well, is the customer getting charged anything for on Thumbtack for this, or is it solely on the person providing the service?
It's solely on providing. So I just found this out recently that if you put out a service on Thumbtack, they don't get charged anything. It's us who we pay for um,
Okay.
that for the lead acquisition.
Well, in that situation, I guess it's a little different, but at the end of the day, uh, there's ways to get their information and stay in contact. But like TaskRabbit, I know because I've used them as a customer a few times. They charge their fee, and you don't get the customer phone number or their email or anything like that. And it's just like it makes more sense on TaskRabbit for the customer to work directly with you because they're getting charged the fee and you're getting charged the fee too, the blue collar workers. It's like, let's just take out all these fees and it'll be cheaper if we just do this stuff directly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you had said something earlier between the options between freelancer and business. So that's when you start to differentiate yourself between a freelancer and a business owner. Is freelancer is heavily reliant on those systems or those platforms to get your customers. But over time, when you transition to a business owner, you want to start acquiring customers without the platform. Now we can still rely on the platform, but there should also be some leads coming in outside of that too. So through word of mouth, which is what most people use, referral systems, other means, sponsorships, donations to specific organizations or events to, broadcast your name. All these different ways is what helps you become a business owner now, to where now you're not necessarily dependent on the platform, but now you have other means of bringing in leads and people to see if they want this service.